So we got the one that we threw last night. Obviously I told you guys the layout last night. It was 50 by 4.5 by 0. So we got 2 more for you today. And I actually have a pitch black like this and a pitch black like this. So we're going from strongest to weakest here. So this is probably going to be my weakest one. We're going over the strongest one. I had a lot of success with a 3 3/8 pin by 10 back angle on my pitch black, so I had to bring it on this new IQ Tour. And then this is going to be the one in the middle, where it's a 4-inch pin, same layout with a 0 degree back angle. Just because of what I was seeing last night, this seemed to be a little too clean when I started going left, so to have a stronger one pick up in that part of the lane, especially when there's more volume, I think will be in play. So this one could probably be better for a lot more volume on the lane, more volume, shorter patterns, medium patterns to keep in front of me or to throw it harder, and then we progressively go this way as we're looking to open up the lane. So we're gonna hit the lanes right now and show you guys what these 3 do, along with the 3 3/8 pitch black and my 4.5 pitch black.
The slave behind the balls.
Alright, so we're ready to go. I've thrown a couple shots with everything just to really tame down the reaction, because obviously, you know, the first shots kind of hook with the urethane, so we got them all at the same surface. I'm going to start with the strongest one. What I'm expecting out of this, very early rolling, very smooth off the back end. It'll probably allow me to be straighter because it's going to burn up its energy in the front part of the lane and kind of quit. So we're going to start with standing on 10, looking at about 8. Let's see what happens. Not the best shot, but that's why we need tape. So as you can see in those last couple shots, this one really wants to pick up very soon, blend off. First one went high, and then the second couple still went high, so I cheated another board with this. So we're standing around 11, still looking at 8 getting it out, but once it gets to that friction spot around 5, it really likes to pick up, stop, and lock up. So we'll throw one more. She's pretty good. So now we got the in-betweener, the 4-inch pin, 0 back angle. So I expect it to be cleaner than the 3 3/8, but just have either a little bit more energy in the back, or because of the 78 hardness, when it starts to lane shine, it's gonna go a lot harder. So we'll stay the same just for the first shot, just to see what it does, and if it hooks, we're gonna move on. To get to the mid lane, and it's starting to make its transition, but it's still going. Whereas the other one kind of picked up and went forward, this one's still trying to make a turn. Saves a lot more energy going into the back end, as you can see. So we're probably going to go like 1.5 boards to the left. And that should get us away from it picking up and jackknife off the back end. So now we got the one from last night, 4.5-inch pins. And we'll stand in the same exact spot, but what I'm expecting is for it to be the longest and the cleanest out of all 3. As you saw, it didn't start to change direction until much later. than these two right here. So I feel like with this lineup, I do have a pretty wide variety of what I like to see with urethane. They're very similar to the layouts that I use on my pitch black, so that's a good sign. The only thing that I do see is that just because of the 78 hardness, they're going to be just a pinch cleaner. But they still have great continuation based on what I'm seeing. We're bowling on the 36-foot Del Ballard pattern, so very excited to see these. So we're going to finish up the game with the clean one, and then once we're done with that, I'm going to throw the 4.5 inch side by side with the pitch black and the 3 3/8 side by side. Not today, Pin. Not today. At least made me move. Or else I would have shot 257 again for you guys. But if you want to guarantee yourself to shoot 256 or better, you got to throw this ball. You got to buy this ball for any short path. Obviously saw that wrap 10, I made an extra move. So now we're gonna throw the pitch black in that wrap 10 position and see what it does. Okay. To me, it looked obviously earlier than my 4.5 Nike Tour. So it was earlier, it was smoother in the back. Obviously, pitch black and Nike Tour, the flare is going to be a lot less than the pitch black. You can see they're tighter together, even though this was one of my most flaring ones. So we'll throw the same shot again, just see what happens. Obviously, with a smaller core, I see the pitch black getting a little farther down the lane. The IQ, because of the core shape, wants to bigger core, change direction. It likes to get offline a lot quicker than the pitch black. So my adjustment here probably just to be throwing the pitch black a little bit slower, so that way you can get up the hill and straight. We got a couple flat 10s, being a little slower than I struck, slowing down the speed. So we're going to migrate to that same zone and see what it does. That wasn't a very good shot, but you could still see that IQ really wants to change direction down lane. So that was actually something that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting, the IQs to be cleaner and not recover as much, but I was so used to curving the lanes with pitch black. I guess it's quite the opposite. So now we got the 3 3/8 pitch black here. And we're just going to see what they do compared to each other. So I'm going to stand 14 and up the speed just because this ball is pretty aggressive. Pretty good. So we'll just get right into it and we'll throw the strong one right after that so you guys see the difference. Pretty close, but yeah, like I said, I think that the IQ just has a pinch more continuation just because of the bigger core. As you saw there, the pitch black was very good shot in at wrap 10, but because the IQ has a bigger core, a little bit cleaner cover, that's why it went through the pinch just a little bit better. So we have a couple flat 10s. I'm gonna move 1 and 1 and be a little softer, see if it comes around the corner.
Did you make an oopsies?
That was actually a good shot, just hooked too much.
Oh, okay.
So, I imagine the other one will do the same thing. So we'll just make a bigger move. We'll move 5. I'm so used to that shape. I really like that shape a lot. But I think that the new IQs can give me that similar shape that I'm looking for. The only thing that I've had my reserves about is, 1, it gets off the eye too fast, and it could 4-pin, or 2, on some of my good shots I've wrapped 10. So we'll throw the same exact shot with the IQ and see what happens. When we're curving them, that's exactly what I've seen. I don't see them picking up as early as the pitch blacks and kind of going through the 8-9 like that. I did get it a little right on that one, but still it kind of was a little lazy, a little cleaner. When it got to the end of the spot, it's kind of like spinning off in a way, but it still struck, so I'm not saying it's bad, but we'll throw one more. My final thoughts on everything that I've seen, obviously with the harder cover stock on the IQ U78, it's going to make it seem like it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper in the back end, where the pitch blacks, to me, because they're 73 hardness, like to see it front to back a lot earlier, but not violent. So it was still very predictable with the pitch blacks. They just saw it front to back a little bit differently than the IQ Tours. With all 3 of them here, the 3 3/8 one, I can be aggressive, I can be my normal self. I am not going to be afraid that it doesn't pick up, so that's really good. And because of the harder cover, I feel like I could also get away with going a little bit farther left and slow hooking it. And then with the 4-inch pin, it's the perfect in between the first one I drilled and the clean one that I drilled, as you guys saw in the last video. It really digs in, continues a little bit more than the 3 3/8. But it doesn't go as far as the clean one. And then the clean one will allow me to open up my angles if there's a lot of friction, and these two tend to be a little bit early. I can go straight to this one. So I'm really excited about this release. Thank you again to Orange Wool for allowing us to film here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for taking care of your bowlers. And as always, guys, gotta bowl up a storm. Go get your new IQ as soon as possible.